Good. Thanks for your input. And what have you seen so far from working with Likely AI?
They finally signed the contract, and then I was finally allowed to have all the information. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it in play. I know who the people I'm going to give it to. And it's funny, I was just going to reach out to Kimberly. She's our account manager person, and ask her what to do, because we've got like 26,000 names, and I only have 7 ALC members, and that's who we're beta testing it with. So I'm trying to figure out that process and what to do before I pull the trigger and create this whole big chaos. So that's what I'm trying to finish by the end of the week.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we get something out of today's call for you.
Oh yeah. Thanks. Well, it's great though, because they send also a recap of like, out of these predictions, this is how much money that was sold, how much money we could have made as a market center, so that's what I really like, is really cool. Awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. It's good. Testimonial before we start the call. It's perfect. All right, so I'm going to excuse myself. I'm going to let Chris go ahead and introduce our next guest. So thank you, Brad, for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Chris Orsini. I'm the Director of Technology for Cody Gibson and the United Home Group Worldwide. I'm a Keller Williams University approved trainer and a labs advisor. And you're probably thinking, what the heck is this guy doing here? I am the former MCTT for Boca East and Palm Beach East. So I still physically exist in the South Florida region. I still serve agents in the South Florida region, and I'm still very involved in the South Florida region. And this place has my heart. So I'm super excited for this, because I get to introduce someone who's become a really good friend of mine. And that's Brad McDaniel, and we've worked together professionally, and through that have become really good friends. And what I love about Brad is not only does he offer a killer product that nobody else is using or has created right now, he's done something out of the box, but he also embodies our culture in a way where he comes from contribution, and he's sacrificed countless hours just to help me personally, and he definitely with this product comes from value first, rather than just trying to scoop up your money right up front. So what I love about this product, and I'll let Brad go deeper into the product itself, and the tools that he uses that can help you in finding buyers homes that don't exist on the market yet, is just that, right? It's something, one, you can't find anything like that. It's all, I'm sure you've all at one point or another called at least one FSBO or expired, right? Now this is like FSBOs expireds before they've even thought about being a FSBO or an expired, before they've ever thought about listing their home. And we exist in a market now where we need to start thinking out of the box. We need to start, and you heard these stories earlier. These agents finding success through putting in the extra effort, putting in a little bit more grit to making the deal close, or to finding their buyer a property. And Brad has some fantastic tools and fantastic systems around doing that. So at that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Brad. Take it away, man.
Thank you. I will try to live up to that intro. Guys, I come from the industry, grew up in it. I've done pretty much most everything within it to a degree. I have a real estate license. I worked for a home builder through college. I did commercial brokerage. My whole family's in real estate. And so I want to help the industry. And I've always kind of gravitated towards solving problems. So as we identified problems in this new digital world, the biggest thing that I saw that I wanted to go after it and try to help solve was that the industry had to pay so much money to basically a competitor. And I was at Trulia for years and Zillow. And so I understood the dynamic. And I was like, there has to be a way to help agents and teams and brokerages, basically feed themselves. Like, they don't have to always pay a competitor to grow their business. And how do you do that in a more and more digital world, right? I mean, everyone thinks you have to go to the portal, you get the people from the fish from the ocean, put them into your pond. Once they're in your pond, you nurture that, and then things fall at the bottom. But what we found along that path is that there's a lot of money being spent on top of funnel, and then somewhere in the middle, just things didn't happen right, or they fell out, or there was too much noise. And then with the database full of partial contacts that might have had some potential in the past, you spend a lot of money on, and you just kind of went back to the pool to get more new fish. And we said, what if we built a product rather than focused on PPC and SEO? That we invested in data scientists, we invested in data, and made it where we could give insights into a contact database or into a market, and then let the agent and team decide which combination there works best for them, and do it in a way where they see the value up front before they pay any money, right? So like, let's see if we can help them. If it is a good fit, then we need to get a couple of bucks so we can pay our bills. And that's really the approach that we've taken to helping Chris, United Home Group, and other clients all across the country. And so today I'm going to go through and talk to really ways that we can help solve your contact database, and ways we can help you find more basically sellers within your market as a whole. Think of them using Gary Keller's met, haven't met context. Basically, we'll talk about mets would be a contact database, or haven't mets. And so are you prospecting or are you marketing? And before I kind of get into those two things, I know I can talk a lot about our products, guys, and I don't want this to come off like an infomercial. So I'd really like to understand if there are a couple of questions maybe on the mets or the haven't mets that I can address through this conversation. And feel free to kind of, as we go, ask questions. I want to be more of a resource here than, hey, buy our thing. Okay. So for that, I'll open up a couple minutes and see if there's any questions.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Having a real problem right now where I've got buyers who want to be in a specific area, and I can't find them a home in that specific area. So how would you be able to help me with matching up a buyer and a seller?
Okay. So a buyer with buyer criteria to off-market seller. Okay. Got it. Any other ones?
Yeah, you guys can just unmute or drop them in the chat. Dora asks, could you use it like a dating game?
I don't know. How would you want to use it like a dating game?
Well, I'm just thinking, right? Here's like Ryan was saying, here are all my buyers. And now I'm going to go through all these sellers that might be likely to sell. And now I can like match.
Yes, you can. In that context, it's exactly like a dating game. Yes. So I'll walk you through as an example how you can do that today, and how then you can export that and have it right on file. So you can literally take if you have 1,000 people or 10,000 people, get it down to 10 or 100 or whatever it is that matches your criteria. That way you can actually go back to that buyer and go, hey, listen, I know the inventory is limited. Here's 100 people, or here's 50 people that I know are highly likely to make a move. If we make them an offer, we go and come with a good marketing campaign. So it will give you a lot of ammunition, both to capture more buyers as well as buyers you have in your pipe to close. So thank you very much for that question, Brian and Dora. Are there any other ones that you guys would like me to go through today? Otherwise, I'll get started, and you can ask us along the way.
Ariel just dropped a good one in the chat. So saying an agent wants to specialize in an area, how can we use the system to help them be purposeful in that area? I love that. That question just gave me goosebumps knowing your product. And then we have one from Kelly. I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name. I'm known for mispronouncing names. I have some seniors that want to move closer to the children, but can't find something they can afford and be as nice as the home they live in now. They're all moving out of the area if can find a place. Okay.
So they're looking for a place that's within a given geographic area and certain criteria, and there's no inventory for that buyer.
Yep, that falls right in line as well. Now, Brad, I've got a question to kind of preface all this. Like, you're essentially getting data that's all public record, correct? And then you're running it through artificial intelligence. Is that correct?
That is correct on both fronts. Yes.
So what I think is cool is you're not, anyone could potentially do what you're doing by just going polling in public data, but you're scouring through thousands and thousands of lines of public data that's just not humanly possible to do in a reasonable amount of time, correct?
That is very true. So I guess I'll answer that kind of, this will be, I guess, how we get into the topic. That takes me back to when I was an intern in college and I was working commercial real estate on the peninsula in California. And the broker I was working for liked dentist offices, and there was really no good source for these and ways to find them. So what did I do? I have to take my laptop down to the local assessor courthouse and sit there and type in on the DOS system over here, and then type it in a spreadsheet over here. And it was the most painful experience for a summer intern job I think you can ever have. But what I pulled out of that is that there has to be an easier, faster, simpler way. So over the last 4 years, we've been building Likely.AI to remove all that noise and just that's associated with using data, and deliver insights, deliver almost like an application layer where we're saying, hey, this is happening, do this to capture that deal, right? So take the minutia out and deliver value to you. And we do it in a couple of different ways. I would say that because of most of these questions are around the database refresh, I can kind of start digging into that. And I'm going to start by talking about, do you guys have like the understanding of how valuable your contact database is? I know a lot of people just talk about, and this is your business, you have to work it, but like when you really dig into it, usually about 60% or so of your contacts don't have an address or haven't been updated since they've been put into your database. And that if you don't do anything, all the statistics show that it'll cost you roughly $100 over the lifetime of your database by maintaining a dirty database. You think that's impossible, Brad. Think of all the marketing activities that you do over the course of, let's say, 2 or 3 years, right? Multiply that by the number of contacts that you might no longer live in that area, that might have the wrong name, that you are just literally spending money on, and you don't even know that you're wasting that and wasting money, just hand in fist. And that is one of the biggest problems that's kind of unknown. And why is it unknown? Because the portals really don't, it's not good for business for them. They want to keep pouring in stuff at the top of the funnel. And they don't really care what happens after that, right? And so when we come at from a practitioner standpoint and go, man, I tell you, agents, brokers, teams, this is a big problem that they just don't, really understand, or it's not as visible because, you guys are doing what you do. You're selling the properties, right? You're out there talking to people. You're having the belly to belly living room conversations. And so one of the things that we do with our database refresh is when you drag and drop your contacts in, we look to dedupe, then we normalize your addresses, score them for which ones have sold in the last 9 months and how many are likely to sell in the next 3 to 6 months. We also show how many don't have good addresses and give you a way to simply one click, do a skip trace. And what is a skip trace? Everyone asks that question, right? Basically, we take the limited amount of data that we have from whoever loads the file and try to go and backfill it with information. So if he doesn't have an address, let's even put an address in there. Okay, let's give you more phone numbers. Let's give you a couple more email addresses that are associated with that person or that property based upon what we have. So in simple terms, we're trying to complete your database in order for us to give you more insight into it, okay? And why is that important? Why is the value and cleanliness of your database important? There's this concept called data gravity. Has anyone ever heard of data gravity before?
I haven't heard of that.
Okay, so data gravity is something that Google internally talks about all the time. And think about it like a planet in its gravitational pull, right? The larger it is, the more gravity it has, the more applications will be pulled to it. And so when you think about it from an agent's database, that's why you have all these different applications popping up everywhere, right? They're being pulled to this data gravity, right? Which could be from the MLS data, it could be from the local assessor, recorder's office, it could be your database, right? And most of these applications that are being pulled to this gravity, which is you, and you guys are the key to everything. People will talk over it and act like it's, but agents and teams, man, that's bread and butter of everything we do, and we strongly believe in empowering. You have the power in this scenario, right? You get to choose what applications you use, where your data is stored. So that way you have flexibility and options within your business. Okay. And we look at ourselves as kind of like a Switzerland. We love everybody, and we want to empower the industry as a whole. And so when we think about data gravity internally, we want to make sure that we're doing right by your gravity, meaning your data, that we're not overriding things. All we're doing is providing insights into how you can get more business from your data. And I know it's boring, but the whole data is the new dollar, data is, life. It is becoming more and more true. So the better we can be at leveraging it without literally falling asleep at the computer, which I totally get, it's boring as all get out, it will unlock potential. And when I say unlock, think of it as there's a construct that from our data science team, they call it the key concept, right? And the key concept is this, is that the more data you have and the better that you organize it, train it, build engineered features, do all these kind of geeky things, basically take two different elements and push them together and create a third one. That's a new engineered feature. You can create, find patterns and create, kind of think of it as like a key, right? And that key pattern unlocks for each market. And we build county level models because we found that to be most effective. That key pattern unlocks the door to who's likely to sell within that market, right? And it takes a lot more than that, but that's the simplest way to kind of think about what do we do and why does data gravity matter? Why does the database cleanliness matter? It all comes back to the same thing. Is the better you can keep your database clean, the more insights can be gleaned from it. And so with that, I can
real quick, Brad, before you move on, I got goosebumps and I want to make sure everyone felt the gravity of it, pun intended. Can you define data gravity again? I just want everyone to hear it again.
Data gravity is the force of gravity in a context that can be thought of as where software and services are pulled to the mass, which is your database. The larger the mass is, the stronger the gravity. So the better you maintain your database, the cleaner it is, the more of those will be pulled to it. And when you grow it and nurture it, and then when it's clean, the more value you can extract from it.
So something I'm hearing, and not to get off on a tangent, but Cody Gibson likes to say, 1 + 1 cannot equal 2. It has to always equal more than 2. And what I'm hearing you say is taking your database and making that 1 + 1 equal more than 2 by attracting more to your business. So if you have a cleaner database, it's not just you're going to attract more actual business buyers and sellers. You're also going to attract more business relationships. You're also going to have these ancillary benefits that come with the relationships and a good, clean, strong database.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. I mean, you have to have that contextual element to your database. It's not all humans aren't created equal, guys. I mean, we all know this, right? There's been all this controversy the last couple of years because there's all different sides of all these political things going on. And it just highlights that everyone's different. And so you can't talk to everyone the same. And you have to know where to talk to them and how to talk to them. Keeping a clean database allows you to do that. And to date, that has been an ignored feature within the industry as a whole. It's basically, hey, push more stuff in here, put them on marketing email drips. You got it. You're good from there. Oh, here's a CMA, take that out. But then when you take a step back and we loaded up, my family's been in the business for 30 years. And so as a fun test, we loaded my father's database, and part of our system, it shows you different colored dots for if the surname or the last name matches the assessor record. So if you think it's Todd Smith and it is Jane Doe who lives there now, it'll pop up as a yellow dot, and the screen lit up yellow. He's like, whoa, hold on. I'm like, when's the last time you updated your database, Dad? He's like, well, I mean, I just keep feeding it. Everyone says feed the database. I just kept feeding it. I don't think I actually groomed it or took it for a walk if it's a dog. I just kept feeding it, and it got a little fat and overweight, and now crap. Okay, I guess I need to take care of this thing a little bit more. And I think that that's a very good representation of pretty much everyone's business. I mean, it's true. It's just we all kind of get focused on our business than in our business, and if you do that too much, before you know it, you got to take care of kind of the basics. So Yes, that is a kind of the essence of what we do. So that's METs, guys, right? That's why you want to keep your database clean. You want to be able to harness all this value that's created from this increasing mass that pulls more tools and applications, and you're going to keep seeing them accelerate. Data science, AI, what we do works really well right now to find these patterns. It's going to continue to accelerate, and the sources of data are going to continue to accelerate. And I don't even know, I can theorize where we'll be in 5 years, but that's a whole nother conversation. So the other side of the business is habit nets, right? So your market as a whole. And so for team leaders, for people that want to dominate a market, are looking for more sellers within a market to kind of enter cost effectively, kind of thinking of it from the jobs to be done theory, we offer a product, and you can do this without our product, all right? So let's start there. If you want to go and get all the data, right, what do you do today? You go to your title rep, you go to find someone, you go buy a list online somewhere of single family homes in this area. There's ways to get raw data. What we usually hear is that now what do I do with that? I don't have any phone numbers, I don't have any emails. I don't know who these people really are. I just know that there's physically this many properties in this geographic area, right? And so this is now when it feels like homework. Like, hey guys, good job. You got the data, now go do something with it and hopefully make some money. That's hard. You kind of your starting point is kind of a dark spot in my opinion. So what we've done, if you don't want to take that path, if you're looking for a way to say, hey, how do I get all of the likely sellers or COVID distressed or condo predictions within an area, we provide a likely seller county license. And I believe that you said, as I was getting on the call, that you just signed up with us, and thank you very, very much. Kim is awesome. You will love getting to know her better. And thank you for trusting us to help grow your business. And I'm happy to, after I kind of get through some of this, happy to answer any direct questions you have, because I'm sure it'd be pertinent to everybody. Kind of as getting started, like, why did I do this? What do I need to do? That would be, specifically helpful for you. And so from the haven't met, we basically provide on a monthly basis, we build models at each county. And why does that matter? Because real estate is such a micro market industry. You guys know this because you guys work it every single day, that, if you built a 12-month lookalike model, which is people that did this thing, maybe they should do it another 12 months nationally, which is like what HomeSnap did. I mean, we almost hired one of the data scientists, told us, like, that's all you guys did. Like, we take a county by county approach. We understand that the markets in each area are different, and there's different influencers, whether it's demographic or if it's real estate related or if it's macro market kind of influencers. And so we, on a monthly basis, we build and retrain models and then provide those predictions within each county to a limited number of license holders. And there's a bunch of different layouts that they can pull from. We give you stats on how well it's performing. Really, it's designed to say, what marketing channel do you want? Do you want to have a great audience to start marketing to? And here you go, put it on, do a Facebook campaign, have your texting ISA do some work. If you want to do push, display ads, banner ads, whatever you want to do, here are the people that you should show that digital billboard to, in essence. So any questions on kind of the haven't met, so the county license, before I kind of start showing you guys some more of these things? And I've got some other things we can talk about. I don't, like I said, I don't want to make this an infomercial. So
I do want to interject here, because I hear a lot of agents, they get a buyer, and this buyer like specifically wants this certain neighborhood. Let's say it's, Palmer Village. They want to live in Palmer Village, right? And what the agent ends up doing then is calling, door knocking, and sending mailers to every single home in that neighborhood, right? And so they're, let's say there's 300 homes in that neighborhood. They're knocking on all those doors. Now, I would much rather, as an agent, be sending mailers, calling, and door knocking the 50 that are statistically most likely to sell, right? Because now I'm saving my marketing dollars, I'm saving my time, and I'm only digging into my 20%, right? And then how much better would it be then? So that's the haven't mets. We look at the mets, the database refresh. What if I'm able to run a database refresh on my entire database and go in and find that, hey, someone in my database who I already know and already knows me happens to be in that neighborhood and happens to be likely to sell. And now I can find them that home that didn't even exist on the market.
That's it. Yes, that is. Let's dig into that. So I know now everyone that's here, you guys want to sell more homes, you need more listings. I'm happy to now show you that. Chris, is that what you kind of want me to get into?
Yeah, so there were a couple questions in the chat. So Ariel said, can many agents have access to the same licensed area where you will provide the likely sellers to them? So do you limit the counties, or how many people can subscribe to a county?
We do. We limit the number of licenses per county because it does start to erode the value proposition for each licensee. Simplest terms is we don't want to put too many people on top of each other, right? It's no good for anybody. And so we look for, from a county license perspective, the people that have been the most successful are when you have, whether it's a small team or a large team, but you have a marketing person, like they're dedicated, they have all these systems in place, and they're looking for a better way to have an ROI on that. Right? Like give me a great audience to target all of this marketing spend that we do, so we can get more deals, in this case, listings. Going to your door knocking, Chris. So getting into the business right out of college, my father built his business by knocking every door in a place called Alamo, California. And he's like, all right, great, here's the map, get started. And so my brother and I started door knocking, hitting every single door. You get to know the areas, all these other great, fringe value props. But it was laborious. I mean, it just took so much time. And even then, like when you got done knocking the whole city, like probably 10% have already moved, right? Like, so you don't even, like, Susie Smith doesn't live there anymore. So one of the first things my brother did when I, really brought forward the database refresh about a year ago, he's like, dude, run my database. I'm going to go knock doors. I'm going to tell you how it went. I said, love it. Go get him, buddy. He said it was the weirdest experience because of two things. One is that he would knock this door, then go down 4 or 5 doors and across the street and knock that door, and then drive to another street and knock 3 doors. And he was like, that felt so weird. So I'm like, why not just knock on that next door? I'm like, you can if you want, but did you have a better response? And did you do it in half the time? He's like, yeah, I did. He's like, I got some of those weird responses where they kind of look at you like, why are you here? And they go, we've been talking about it. Almost like, wait a second, is Google speaker and is Alexa like now telling you guys stuff? Like, what the heck's going on here? Yeah. And it's not. It's just purely like the key concept. Right? There are things that we were able to match to that key for that county, and that house was one that we said we need to unlock. It's as simple as that. So if you have door knocking scripts, if you are door knocking today, I know the pandemic kind of put a pause on a lot of that stuff. It's still a very viable tactic, especially with the proliferation of digital doorbells. Like, think about it. You actually get to do a commercial at every door now. You don't only get to talk to when people open the door. You can do a little pitch. You can leave a lead behind that you stick on the wall so they're looking at it until they come take it off. I mean, there's things you can do where you actually get a lot more visibility thanks to the digital doorbell, even though everyone hits the ground as like there's a drive-by when everyone knocks on the door these days, but you get that screen time now on every device that's connected to that doorbell. So when you do it, you're getting a lot more value from it than you used to, even if you're not having as many direct conversations. So I think it's still a very viable strategy, Chris.
Yep.
With that,
now we've got 14 minutes, so I do want to like go into that. One person asked, "What states are you in?" I think you're in all 50 states, right?
Yeah, we're nationwide. Yep. We're nationwide. Think of all the major metros. We have well over 1,000 counties. There's 3,142 counties. There's a lot of really, really small counties that have less than 10,000 properties, kind of more in the Midwest. And for those areas, there's not much business that happens there. Right. Mm-hmm. But think of a Verizon map. That's pretty much our coverage. Okay. So any kind of metro or insulary metro, we definitely have up and running.
Perfect.
Sorry, was there a second question?
No, that was that. Lysis, there's some other questions. I want you to get into what you wanted to share with us, and then if we have time, we can jump into those other questions. And I know you've got a kind of piece of value or some promo you can throw at us at the end. So. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a couple of things I'm happy to leave with you guys before we leave. So here, I'm going to show you my screen here. Hopefully that comes across. Is that?
Yep.
See that? So what this is your dashboard. It's kind of showing you how well are we performing for you, right? And this shows that we have 2 counties in this account. Market turnover is like 1 in how many properties listed within the last 90 days. This is like a 90-day snapshot panel. So 1 out of 77 properties have listed in the last 90 days, and that's single family and condos within these 2 counties. 1 out of 18 of our predictions have listed in the last 90 days. So we're 319% better than market turnover. That's like the easiest way to kind of wrap your mind around what does data science do in this space, right? And also, if you think, well, once you make a prediction, maybe there's not enough time for me to actually capture that deal. We bring that forward as well. That's our average days to listing, right? And so in these counties, it's 42 days from the first time that we push a prediction to clients that listing then hits the market or appears on the MLS, right? So they're in that transitional phase, and we see 42, 57, kind of somewhere in that 40 to 60 day is when we see the majority of them kind of pop. Some happen quick, most of them happen kind of in this range, and it'll continue out past 180 days. But since we don't want you guys to have to buy something today and wait 6 months for it, we were able to find signal, which is what data scientists call like that key in that first 90-day period of time. We also show you how many predictions have come true, the value of them, the heartbeat of like kind of a week by week, how many predictions have come true, how many predictions you have, single family versus condo. This looks like a lot. So it's probably like Cook County or something like that up in Chicago area. The way that this product works is you would come over to our database refresh, and we're going to give you guys a promo for this so you guys can try it for free, basically, right? And you can drag and drop a file into this. Let me just find a file really quickly. And what we do is we literally will take that and we will normalize the addresses and return how likely they are to sell. So I'm dragging and dropping. If you use Follow Up Boss, you can connect it with the API key, and you can do it from a smart list or a tag. We're going to continue to have more integrations, and Keller Command is that right at the top of our list, and we were definitely talking with your team over there. So hopefully be able to do this without having to drag and drop soon directly out of your command database, okay? Today, you drag and drop, you get to preview. Okay, did I map the fields right? It's pretty straightforward. And then it runs. And what's happening right now is we are taking what you uploaded to us. And if you watch the video of my ugly mug right there, I'm telling you that on the video. We're taking all of your data. We are normalizing the addresses, we're deduping them, then we're taking them through our prediction process and appending back who are the likely sellers, COVID distressed, and appending, and I think it's 48 other data points to kind of fill out your database. This is the things about the mailing address, AVM, transaction history, property characteristics, things like that can be helpful in marketing campaigns. And once it's completed, what you get back, I'm just going to jump, I think I have one already done over here that we can just look at quickly. What you get back is a report like this. Is this the wrong tab? Of course it is. Here we go. We'll look at this one. Any one of these work. Here we go. So this looks like actually my family's database in California. And so what this free report tells you is how many of the addresses did we match? And here you go, this is a dirty one, so 62%. That means there's probably a lot without zip codes or no address at all or whatnot. But out of the 5,541 that we did match, we found 420 had sold in the last 9 months, and 500 were likely sellers in the next 3 to 6 months. And then we give you a gross commission income, and this is based off of 3% or 2% or 5%, whatever you want to set for yourself. And then we say, what's your gross commission income potential, a GCIP? So we try to bring this forward to you going, hey guys, this is a value to you. If it's in an area or for some random reason, statistically, you don't have very many in your database, don't buy it. Like we want to, like, if you see value here, then buy it. It's only $1.49 per likely seller. So we try to keep the price point to where you can rerun this, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is from a cycle standpoint, right? To kind of keep your database fresh or refreshed. Now, once you've purchased it, here we go. I already have a map up. What we do show is where they are located. And then you can see this one has people that are all across the country. Most of them are Northern California, but they do have some that are on the East Coast. So when you come in, this is talking to the point of how do I find off-market sellers, right? So it looks like San Jose down here. I'm not sure what cities these are because this is someone's actual database that gave it to us for a demo. But you can type in a city and that can limit down to people, or you can say, you know what, I don't, the city doesn't matter. If it's in my database, that's really what I want to target, but it has to have at least 3 bedrooms. Maybe it has to have at least 1.5 baths. And maybe, oh, there we go, that's enough. Okay, so now we went from hundreds down to 7 that are likely sellers that match that buyer criteria. And you can say, you can pull out and kind of look to see where they are. Okay, yeah, they're in Danville. Okay, so basically east side of kind of the Bay Area. You select them and then you can export them. You can download them, you can send them to the Zapier app, you can push them directly into Follow Up Boss, and soon you'll be able to push them right back into Keller Command with that tag. Today, you would just click download and then either start your calling campaign or push them back into Keller Command and put them on a drip campaign. Those are the things that we've seen people do very effectively using the database refresh. Any questions kind of on this to this point?
So at this point, I do want to mention though that we can zap into command. So we at least have the ability to tap into Zapier to send this directly to command if you do use Zapier.
Absolutely. And then we actually have, once you can
Likely.AI have their setup in Zapier. We don't have to download it as a CSV first.
There you go, right there. Yep, you can push it in.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
we have Zaps templates set up for you. So
Perfect.
if you do like using Zaps, boom, there you go. Just connect, just do what you do to create a Zap, and these templates will help you get there.
It's actually better because Zapier allows you to put it into a team account if you're on a team.
Oh,
Yep.
There you go.
I believe you can also tag. Can you tag in Zapier?
Yes, you can.
Yes. So what's a great use of this is have a tag set for a smart plan to automatically go out to these people. A really cool text message that I've seen within United Home Group, and I'll give you guys this one as a bonus, is, hey, I'm just circling back. This would be the text, right? Hey, I'm just circling back to see when you'd like to move. Please answer just the number that applies to you. 1, right now. 2, within the next 3 months. 3, within the next 6 months. 4, sometime this year. 5, more than a year. 6, I'm gonna die in this home. 7, let's meet right now, right? And I don't know if that's verbatim, but I've seen a lot of success through just a text like that goes out monthly. That could be something that you could use to reach out to these people, especially if they're already in your sphere and you already know them. Hey, just circling back, checking in.
And at the end of this, guys, I'll give you guys a URL. You don't have to write it down now, but we put together a texting playbook based on thousands and tens of thousands now of texts that have been sent to likely sellers from one of our partners. We give you the scripts, we give you the response rates. Take those as a base. I think Chris had a great start right there. I love that one. We should probably add that. And you can kind of customize them to fit your brand, but it's a starting point. We wanted to kind of give you what we know works. So that there'll be a link to that. I don't know if that's an email afterwards or how that works, Chris, but I'll give it to you. It's
okay.
From the likely seller. So if you want to grow your market, go into a new market effectively, or dominate your market more cost effectively. The database, the likely seller license is really what we would recommend. You can talk to our team at Likely.AI/contact. It sounds like, we've had a couple of people that have already done that on this call, which is awesome. The team will treat you very well, very fair, and we'll make sure that we get you a license if there's one available still. We have pretty much all of Florida besides 1 or 2 counties, I think in like the very middle that I think mostly swampland. Everything else is good to go from my understanding. So what are we looking at right here? On the likely seller audience side, once you do buy a license to a county, on a monthly basis, we would update that set of predictions that are associated. So here's Santa Barbara, California. You can do a couple of things from here. You can view the data, very similar to what we just did on the database refresh. I'm not going to go back through that again. It's pretty much identical to what we just looked at for the database refresh. So you can do that, I want to find people that are within a certain subset of the community. So it's those areas where your buyers are trying to move within the county. That's a perfect use case for that. We have a lot of people that do that. If you do investment properties, you can say, I want likely sellers that are COVID distressed that are non-owner occupied. Boom, there you go. Again, those are the types of things that people do a lot right now. You can also get more contact data. So we have owner 1 and owner 2. You can say, hey, update all of it. Basically give me the freshest stuff everywhere. And I think we charge like 13 or 14 cents. I don't know what it is, but it's just basically as cheap as we can make it. This is a friction reduction play for us. The margins are not important for us on this. This is so you don't have to go to 10 different places to do it, okay? We want to add as much value. Or you can say, fill in the blanks. Hey, if they don't have an email or a phone number, I want those. Please try to add them, right? So this could be each month when we do give you new predictions. Hey, look for the ones you couldn't match last month, plus the new ones. Constantly try to get it. So not everyone needs phone numbers and emails, but if it does matter, there it is for you. And you simply just add it to your cart by clicking here and you're ready to go. To export the file, you kind of have a couple of options. You can either pick a marketing channel. So it's direct mail or email, or if you want the master license, master file, it's like kind of like all the data. It's kind of cool to play with. It'll be a lot. So because there's so much data we can give you, we created subsets like a direct mail, just what your direct mail vendor would want, plus a couple extra little things. Facebook custom audience. These are the 13 data points that Facebook wants in order to triangulate a profile when you create a custom audience, pre-formatted for you. If you're just looking for phone numbers, hey, I'm going to load this into a dialer. There's your phone number file. So you don't have to work with the Excel spreadsheets or CSVs as much. Like this should be right on point for what you need. Then if you say, I already have a campaign going, so you bought a file, got a license with us, first month in, we say, hey, grab everyone because, you want to start new campaigns. Month 2, we say, just grab what's new. So that way you can add that to your campaign and you don't have to do any deduping or that. We do all that for you. So if they have listed and then we pull them out. If if they're no longer a prediction, we pull them out. So this is just the predictions that are new this month in this delivery. And from there, you literally just say export. And it's very similar to what we saw on the other pages. You choose where you want it to go. Do I download it, follow up bots, or Zapier? So push it where you want, or download the file, play with it, and load it into whatever other systems you care to push it into. Now, I feel like I've now given you a full demo and I don't want to go too much deeper. We do have COVID distressed. If you're a broker, you're looking to recruit, we've got a capture audience database of 2.5 million people of agents and brokers. So we have a lot of other stuff, guys. I mean, our mission statement is purely intelligence as a service to community, delivering that first to know intelligence. So that way you can grow your business. We have a lot of little things in here that I don't need to go over today. But these are some things that we found to really help the industry when the inventory is constrained and you're looking for creative, cost-effective ways to get more listings, doing things you're already doing. All you're asking to do is say, who do I do them to? You don't have to change what you do. It's just, who do I do them to? And that was one of the big things for us. We didn't want to ask everyone to completely blow up what they're used to doing and start all fresh, because we all have systems. Systems are very important to do. Here's just a better audience to apply to your system.
Now, Brad, I think you mentioned something about running a free database refresh or coupon code or something for that. Do you have that on ready so I can type it in the chat, or do we want to follow up with that?
So you guys, if you guys want to go check that out, you go to app.likely.ai/refresh, which is, you're going to see this page. This video will explain to you kind of what to do. If you want more instructions, you can watch the video here as well, or you just drag and drop or click upload. Once you do that and you do the mapping like we showed, you go to purchase it. So you are now at this state. And you say, hey, add this to my cart. I want to buy these 113 likely sellers. We're going to give you all the data for the 2,152 at no extra charge. And we only charge you $1.49 for 113 likely sellers. So we try to over deliver in a huge way. Now, once you're here, you click, I have a coupon code in here, you type first 100. And that'll give you the first 100 likely sellers. So in this case, you'd only pay for 13 likely sellers. So this should cover, an 80%. If you're a bigger team, you have, thousands and thousands of contacts, this isn't going to get you a full refresh, but this should give you enough for, if you're an individual agent or if you're a smaller team and you want to get the skill, load a couple hundred in there. I mean, give it a go. It'll cost you $40 or $50 if it's on top of the 100, but it's going to be, the value will be very apparent to you once you pull it down. So I'd first like to give you that. The next thing would be go to Likely.AI /text playbook. And this is where, you can get, basically just fill out the little form and we will send you a copy of the text playbook. You'll get an email right away with it in there. And so that way, you can read all the pieces that I talked about. And then I'd add the one Chris put on this call because I like that one, man.
Yep.
If you just want to talk to us and you don't want to buy, you don't want the text playbook, the only thing, just Likely.AI/contact is kind of our go-to. You get in touch with our sales team. They'll tell you about the performance of likely sellers within the counties that you work. They will talk about whatever else that you have questions on that are more detailed that I don't think need to be covered on this call. And if there's a fit and there's a license still available, then they'll send you a quote to review. And it's as simple as that. And on that, tell them that you heard me on this call, and we would give you a 20% discount on a licensed county. Chris, you've been awesome to us. We like to, keep our relationships healthy. So that's a give that we didn't talk about, but I just wanted to make that available. So just tell them that you heard me talk today, and the sales team will know that.
Love that, Brad. You didn't even prep me for that one.
No, sir. I gotta kind of keep you on your toes, man.
Yeah, you do. All right. Well, we are 4 minutes over. Do we have any quick one-off questions, or Ryan, should we save those for later on and give us a break? No? Okay. Ariel, you got a question? I see your hand up.
Can let him
Yes.
talk.
Hey, Brad. So going back to the original ones of the counties, if a county is pretty large, because I know you said you only allow certain agents per county license so that there's not too many, right?
Yes.
But for example, in our county, Miami-Dade, we have 35 cities or 34 cities within the county. How limited do you limit those licenses? How many agents do you allow per county then?
Thank you for bringing up Miami-Dade. You're one that when people ask that question, Miami-Dade, Cook County, or LA County. I mean, counties, some massive counties, right? So take LA as an example. We have 5 clients there, but they're in the 5 boroughs of LA. They're not going to drive 2 hours on 405 to go get a listing. So what we do is we just look at what part of the market do you serve, and we kind of look at as well as what additional segments. So think of it as property type, stage, demographic. I'm going after first-time home buyers from condos. Okay, I'm going after the move uppers that are in single-family homes. So I only do luxury. So because you have geography and then kind of the type of people you serve, we just want to make sure that we're not piling people on top. So on average, to answer your question directly, we limit it to 2. So if there's, let's just say 25,000 homes in a county, right? That's 2, maybe that might just be 1, depending on where it is. A place where there's 1-2 million properties, whether they're condos and single family, we take that approach of, okay, it's density, but it's also what portion of the market are you going after? Okay, yeah, we can bring that additional license in. So we keep it very, very tight. I would say that a place like Miami would maybe 5 or 6, depending on what the mix is. If it's a team that's going after, and then a couple of individual agents, and then maybe a market center, that would totally max out the county.
Would there be an option of being exclusive to a specific area or city?
So we don't go down to the cities yet. We're talking with our development team about going down to zip codes, and then kind of rebranding that way. We don't have that in market today. Anyone that has a county license would get grandfathered in, all of that good stuff. What we have seen people do is come back and buy both or all 3 licenses within a county because they don't want to share, basically. And that's the simple way to solve it for today. And the reason why we do have more than one available is because we don't want someone to come and take it and then not use it just so no one else can have it. Like, we want to help the industry. And, thus we have that, that limited quantity per county.
Got it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Any other questions? Dora, I see you're unmuted, so.
No questions. I'm
Nope.
just gonna put
Okay.
a lot of notes.
All right.
When you're talking with Kim, if you want to have her loop me in, just tell her that we talked today, and she'll find a spot.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome. Going once, going twice. No other questions?
So
All
I
right.
put
Well,
everyone to sleep.
yeah. Brad, thank you so much for this. I always get, I always have such a joy getting on a call with you. And I love seeing the value that you bring. This has been awesome, and I really appreciate it, man.
Hey, absolutely, Chris. Thank you. I really enjoyed being able to talk. I don't like just talking at people. So hopefully that you guys felt like there was enough back and forth and value from it.